and welcome back to Beauty Fortified. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Sue, and today I've got another video on Throwback Classics. And Throwback Classics are videos where I highlight and talk about products that have been around, they've really stood the test of time, and they deserve a place in makeup history. So today I'm talking about Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells. Now this is a palette that came out in 2011 according to my research, and it really just took off. It has become a cult product. Now Wet n Wild did tinker with the formula a few years ago, and a lot of people have said that the original was better than the new formula, and I do tend to agree. But when they changed the formula, they also included a transition shade in the palette. So the new palette looks like this. So it's a quad, it's got a transition shade, an eyelid shade, a crease shade, and a brow bone shade, or a shade that you can use in the inner corner. Now this palette is absolutely superb for beginners because it's just very, very subtle. You can't really go wrong with it. And what Wet n Wild do as well is they label each quad telling you where to put it. So there's a little stamp on each shade which tells you where it goes. This one is for the lid, crease, brow bone, transition shade, etc. And the other really nice thing I like about the new formula is, of course, the transition shade. It's a really handy thing to have, not only if you're starting out in makeup, but it's a color that you can use all over the lid just to smooth out and blend out your shadows. The color story is so neutral that you can use it with a variety of different lip or cheek colors, so that also makes it really, really versatile. So I'm going to show you in this tutorial how I apply it. The one thing that I didn't use was the brow bone shade. I wouldn't put this on my brow bones because it is quite glittery, and that would kind of hark back to the 80s. But you can definitely use this shade in your inner corner. Now I have swatched the shades, and unfortunately they haven't really swatched that well. They actually swatch a lot better on the eye, so you're probably not going to be able to pick them up except for the crease shade. But they really are quite soft and buttery. They do blend out beautifully, and I'm going to show you how I did an eye look using this palette. So I've prepped my skin, and today I'm using the Revlon Candid Foundation, and I've used it on top of the Revlon Prime Plus Mattifying Primer. So I'm going to start with the transition shade, which is that one at the top, and just taking a big fluffy blending brush, I'm going to apply that all over the lid and right up into the crease, just to give a nice base for the rest of the shadows. And I'm not using an eye primer today, so just laying some of that down. You can see it's almost invisible on my lid, but it's a really nice shade to use just to blend out the crease color. So I really like it for that. Then I'm going to go into the crease, and I'm going to be using their recommended crease shade, which is the pink color over there. And taking a flat eyeshadow brush, I'm just going to spritz it a little bit with some Fix Plus, just to give it a little bit more depth and a little bit more staying power on the lid. So just dabbing a little bit of that into the eyeshadow, and I'm taking it all over the mobile lid. And it really does give a lovely sheen to the lid. So really is very nice and really applies well. These are quite buttery, even though they're not as buttery as the original. They're still very good for drugstore shadows. And then once I'm happy with that, I'm going to apply a little bit of the crease shade, which is the dark brown in the corner, and I'm going to apply that in the crease. So I'm taking quite a firm crease brush, just dabbing a little bit into the crease shade, and then I'm just going to gently apply that up into the crease. So this does have a tiny bit of shimmer to it, And I wouldn't ordinarily use a shimmer shade in the crease, but this is really unobnoxious. You can really get away with this in the crease if you're a little bit older, because it doesn't exacerbate texture or lines. I think it just adds to the overall glow of the shadows. So just popping a little bit of that on. And then I'm taking my original fluffy brush that I used for the transition shade, and I'm just going to gently soften any edges. And then for the outer corner, I'm taking a pencil brush. I'm going to spritz this as well, just a little bit with my MAC Fix Plus, and taking the crease shade, the darker brown, I'm just going to dab a little bit into that, and I'm just going to darken up the outer corner. So you can use the shades wet or dry, and it just gives a little bit of intensity, but again, it's a very soft palette in terms of the payoff of the shades. So it's very forgiving because you don't need a lot of precision, and the end result is really quite flattering. And then taking the same pencil brush, I'm going to take a little bit more of that deep brown shade, and I'm just applying it to the lower lid. So that is basically the eye look done. So it's very simple, very straightforward, and I think it really does look flattering on most skin tones, except if you have a very dark skin tone, obviously, then it might not show up for that. And then I'm going to apply 2 coats of mascara. I'm going in with my MAC False Lashes Extreme Black, and I'm going to apply 2 coats of that just to give my eyelashes some definition, which they sorely need at this point. And because the under eye color is very light, I've also added a little bit of mascara to my lower lashes just to bring out the lower lid slightly. Obviously you can apply an eye pencil if you want to. And now, because as I mentioned, it is such a neutral palette, you can add either a coral or a peach cheek and lip, or you can add a rosy cheek and lip. And today I thought I'd go in with something rosy, so I'm going in with Milani Rose D'Or, that's rose gold blush. And this is lovely because it does have a little bit of iridescence as well. It has a little bit of sheen to it. So just applying that to the outer thirds of my cheeks, and then bringing it on to the apples. So any lip or cheek shade will go with this look, and because the eyes are quite subtle, you can actually go in with quite a bold lip. You could, if you pared down your blush, you could actually go in with a bright red lip with this eye look if you wanted to. So today I thought I'm going to go in with a soft pink. I'm going to line my lips with my Clarins lip pencil in Rose Nude, and then I'm going to apply a pink lipstick. This is from Essence, one of their Sheer and Shines. I'm going to apply that to the lip. So guys, that's the finished look. Let me know if you've used the palette, and let me know if you prefer the old formula versus the new formula. And let me know if you think that this deserves to be a staple in the classics of makeup. I'd love to hear from you. Leave your comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Ciao, ciao.